You guys just said hello, how are you in the Tuscarora language. My name is Amber. I'm with Native Insights myself. I have Thomas and Juanita Zermino. They're here with me as well today. We're part of a Native American organization that educates and showcases Native American culture through dancing, through storytelling, and through sharing a little bit about our culture with others so that they can gain more knowledge and insight and be able to also kind of be proud of who they are, as well as take the information that we are sharing with you guys today and be able to share that with others. And our mission is to just be able to educate people on the Native American culture present, not just past, and be able to unite communities and people as a whole with our similarities rather than our differences. So we are here today to do that. Again, my name is Amber. I'm from the Tuscarora tribe of North Carolina. Just to give you guys a little bit of background about myself and my tribe originated in the state of North Carolina around the 1700s, 1710 to be exact. We went through the Tuscarora Wars with the settlers at the time. After we lost, around 1714, my tribe was removed from the area of North Carolina and we moved to upstate New York, and we became the sixth tribe of the Iroquois Nation. So not a lot of people have heard of the Tuscarora tribe or nation, but a lot of people have heard of the Iroquois. So Iroquois has 6 different tribes, the Tuscarora being the 6th tribe to join the Iroquois Confederacy or the Iroquois Nation, and therefore we became Iroquoian people back in the 1700s. My tribe is from the eastern woodland area of the United States, which is pretty much considered the area where there are more woods. The area that we were able to reside in was also the area where we were able to thrive and build our homes and things like that. And so that just gives you a little bit of history about my tribe and where I come from. I'm going to have Juanita come up. She's going to tell you a little bit about her tribe and where she comes from, just to give you guys an idea of Native American people as a whole. We're not monolithic, so we have a lot of similarities, but we're also we have our own traditions, our own customs, our own language. And so you'll be able to see that represented here today with 2 different tribes.
Thank you, Amber. Dagote. Greetings. This is our language. We are Lapon Apache from Texas. We are a southwestern tribe, and our tribes were hunters and gatherers. We followed the animals, we followed the food supply, and we gathered as we encountered. Okay. Now we didn't play well with others. We didn't like someone telling us, you have to live over here. Why? When I'm used to just, playing in my own big backyard. So anyway, y'all have heard of Geronimo, correct? Yes. He was one of the last Apache to surrender or to go in, but we try to maintain our own way of living, if you will, and unfortunately, in the end, we were conquered, if you will, and we did have to live on reservations. But we ranged all the way, if you remember your history, Mexico and Spain owned almost all of the lower U.S., okay? So our tribe is part in the U.S., part in Mexico. Same people. We are Americans, they are Mexicanos. Not by choice, but by the supreme government who made it so, okay? So not everything is by choice, but we want to continue with our traditions and keep them as alive as we possibly can. From the moment we are born, we are stewards of the land. Without Mother Earth, that's what we call her, we would have nothing. She gives us everything that we need to survive and live on this land. Without the water, there's nothing. Without the plants and the green, there's nothing. Without the winged creatures, there is nothing. But guess what? If man were to be gone, go to space, whatever, the earth would thrive. So let's keep that in mind when you're out anywhere, and protect the land and what we were given. Okay? It's not ours. Our belief was it was not ours to own, but we pass it to our children and their children. So let's all be good stewards of the land.
All right, thank you, Juanita. So as she said, she was telling you a little bit about our tribe. So we're giving you guys kind of this background information so that you can understand where our tribes come from, the traditions and the history of our tribes, and then also where we are today. And so today, we still practice a lot of the customs, the traditions, and one way that we do that is by powwows. Has anybody ever been to a Native American powwow? So a powwow is a gathering of Native American people. It's the way that we keep our history alive. It's the way we keep our traditions alive. Powwows are intertribal, so meaning they're multiple tribes that come together and we're able to sing and we're able to dance and we're able to visit friends and meet new friends and celebrate. And it's just a way that we're able to showcase who we are to people who are on the outside world or spectators, but then also be able to keep that tradition alive, showing our young ones how to dance, teaching them about the traditions and the customs and the dances and so on. And so we're going to share a couple powwow dances with you guys today. At a powwow, there are several important things. At a powwow, we always dance in what we consider a circle or an arbor. And so there's a specific area that is sectioned off for the powwow dancers to dance, and it's always in a circle. We believe that everything is balanced and in a circle. Everything starts and begins at any point, but all at the same point, if that makes sense. And so with that being said, before that circle is danced in, it's usually prayed over. Because when we enter into the circle, our dance are our prayers. It's a way that we communicate with the Creator. It's the way that we commune with Mother Earth. And so we hold that to very high honor and high significance. And so when we go in, it's not something to be done in a playful way. We honor the circle, we honor the dances. We have fun. It's a fun time, but it's also a way of honoring and protecting who we are and protecting our culture. Also, what's very important at a powwow is to have dancing, you have to have music. All right, so our music is rendered by a drum. There's usually a very large drum or multiple large drums at a powwow, and there are singers that sit around that drum. And so these are the singers that render our songs. Some of the songs are in a specific language that may be specific to that tribe that those singers and that drum is from. And then some of them are just melodic heart songs. And so they may not have a specific language, but it's part of our traditions in regards to how we sing our music. And so you'll hear a little bit of music today. It's a recording, we don't have a drum. But I do want to share a smaller version of what you would see if you were to go to a powwow. So this is a smaller version of what a large powwow drum would look like. This is considered a hand drum. And it's made out of rawhide, so leather that's been stretched and dried. And then it usually has a wooden base, and then it's tied on rawhide ties. This is a drum beater. And the reason why the drum is so important in our culture, not just in our powwows, but in our culture, and you may see different drums of different sizes, of different uses. Different tribes have different types of drums. They may be made a little bit differently. But the one thing that is synonymous with all of our tribes and a lot of tribal cultures around the world is the sound of the drum. What does it sound like? It sounds like a heartbeat. So we believe that the heartbeat is the first sound that you hear before you're born. So when you're in utero in your mother's stomach, before you're alive in this world, you have a sound that you hear, which is your mother's heartbeat or your heartbeat. And that is the same sound that continues throughout your entire life until that life is no more in this world. And so we believe that the heartbeat creates the rhythm of our life. It creates the rhythm of our powwow. It's the rhythm of our dancing. It's the rhythm of Mother Earth. And so it's very important that all of our dances, all of our songs are done to a drum, because again, it creates that rhythm, but it also represents that heartbeat and the life that we're bringing to that powwow arena. All right, so again, this is a smaller version. If you guys come to a powwow, which I hope maybe one day you will, there are several in Florida, you will be able to see a larger version of a drum, and you will be able to hear that beat. All right, so the first dancer we're going to have come out is going to be Juanita. Juanita is a women's traditional dancer. The women's traditional dance is one of the oldest dances of our powwows. Again, there isn't a specific tribe that this dance belongs to. It's an intertribal dance. And so different tribes may do this dance, but one thing that you would see different in every single dancer is the regalia that they're wearing. We don't call what we're wearing costumes. A costume is something that you would wear when you're pretending to be something that you're not. So Halloween, you're gonna wear a Spider-Man, or if you're dressing up for a certain occasion where you kind of want to get flashy or disguise yourself, you're wearing something that represents something, but it doesn't represent who you are. We call what we wear regalia, or you may hear some people refer to it as our dance outfit. A regalia is something that represents who you are, and so what we're wearing represents who we are. Each specific dancer will either hand make or have their regalia made for them. They decide the colors, the designs, and everything that goes into the regalia. The regalia is specific to the type of dance that they do. So as I said, Juanita is a woman's traditional dance. Traditionally, they wear a long dress. They wear either high top moccasins and leggings, and they carry a shawl in their hand, and then also a fan. And so these are the typical items that you would see with a women's traditional dancer. Again, the women's traditional dance is a more traditional, slower dance. It's a very graceful, high-honoring dance. There was a time when our women did not dance in the circle back when powwows began. They would dance on the side of the circle or on the outside in support of the men that would come in and dance. And so as our powwows continued to evolve, our women were able to come into the circle and dance certain dances to be able to represent who they are in the dances that we are performing. With women's traditional dance, Juanita will walk in a very graceful way that represents how she's honoring Mother Earth. There will be a certain point in that song where you'll hear very hard, loud drum beats, and those are called honor beats, and you'll notice she'll do something very specific to show her honor to Mother Earth during that time. All right, so I'm gonna have Juanita, do you wanna say anything else about your dance?
No, just that please, when you do go to a powwow, be mindful that it's not a hootenanny. The circle is sacred to us, so please listen and look and follow the other dancers. Women follow the women, men follow the men.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, were you guys able to see how graceful she was? Yeah. Again, it may be considered, some people consider it the old woman's dance, but we consider it one of the most traditional and most beautiful dances because it does represent walking and being graceful on Mother Earth. So thank you, Juanita, very beautiful. All right, the next dancer we're gonna have come out is Thomas Zermino. Thomas is Juanita's husband.
Yeah.
54 years.
54 years. Amazing. And they don't fight at all, never. All right, so Thomas is a man traditional dancer, a male traditional dancer, men's traditional dance. Northern traditional dancer, you may hear it, it's called. I also want to point out, in addition to the most important role of being Juanita's husband, Thomas is also a veteran. He is a United States Army veteran, correct? Vietnam veteran. He's a Vietnam veteran. At all of our gatherings, at all of our powwows, anytime that we're able to, we honor our veterans. We believe that they are the warriors of our nation. They're the warriors. They're the ones who fight for us when we can't. And so we honor Thomas today for being a veteran and all that he's done for our country. So thank you, Thomas. And so also, being a veteran and a warrior, Thomas dances a warrior's dance. Now, not all men traditional dancers are veterans or warriors, but this is known as a warrior's dance or men's traditional dance. This dance is one of the most oldest and traditional dances of the men. And so this is one of the dances that the men would do when they would come back from war or from a hunt. And the men would not be able to tell the story of what they did on that war or that hunt. And so instead of coming in and talking about it, they would come into the dance arena and they would dance. And through that dance, you would be able to see the movements. You would be able to see the story of that hunt. You would be able to see where he found the buffalo or the prey that he was looking for, and he motioned to the rest of the warriors to come this way. Or you'll be able to see in that dance how he would find the tracks of his enemies or of the animal. And so through that dance, he was able to tell that story, and people were able to carry that story along and be able to see how our warriors, how our hunters, how our men would be on the battlefield or in a hunting expedition. And so for men traditional dancers, they wear a bustle on their back that is made out of feathers, and so Thomas has that on his back. He also has a fan that he carries and a dance stick. I'm going to have him explain a little bit more about the dance that he does and some of the items that he's wearing. Again, all of the items that we wear are very personal to us. So they don't represent a tribe per se. You may see certain things that may represent a certain tribe or clan or just our own personal journey in life. And so he's going to share a little bit about some of the colors that he's wearing and what that represents to him so you guys can kind of get an idea of how we cater our regalia to who we are, not only as a dancer, but who we are as a person.
Okay, thank you. Okay, as Emperor mentioned, I am a non-traditional dancer, even though I'm an Apache, but I love this dance because of what stories you can tell. Each individual in the male category selects the color and the style and the design of his regalia. On mine, you notice it's black and white, the polka dots, okay, black and white. That represents to be night and day, right and wrong, good and bad, and also reminds me of the chicken pox. You remember that? That was brought in by the army on blankets. A lot of people said, no, that didn't happen, but it did. So this is what it represents to me, that color. So different individuals will have different colors, different meanings for that individual. On my headdress, I have what they call a mop. Okay, this is at one time there was 400 feathers. It took me 2 years to make. The Cheyenne dog soldier was the one that would wear it because he was a special type of soldier, sort of like the Ranger or the Green Berets in the military. They were the first line of defense for the tribe. They have a choker and a breastplate which was used for protection. As Emperor mentioned, I do have a dance stick. It's called a coup stick. Okay, this is what they would use to touch the enemy without hurting him. Once you touch the enemy, there was a lot more braver than hurting him. And you captured his soul. So nobody could harm that individual except the one that the soul was captured. Got it? All right. And you notice that it's a horse, because without the horse, the native would still be walking. They're trying to speed up the transportation, the hunt, and everything else that they did. At one time, they were carrying everything on their back or on dog sleds. Right? The fan is used actually, we don't point, but we use the fan to point or call somebody over, but also to keep cool. Okay? So now you look down, I have on my side tab, this is called a tap. I should have some hands on there, that represents mankind. Have you ever seen any TV movies where they show historical stuff of the ancient people in the caves and they got different drawings and you see the hand? The caveman put the hand there saying, I was here. Now, when I say mankind, I'm just talking about men, I'm talking about women, mankind. Yeah. Okay? But it also represents the healing hand. And now we have two different colors of hands that the women are wearing, red and then one is orange. And they represent the missing and murdered indigenous women. Have you ever seen that red hand on people's faces? Okay. Now I got my angoras. I got my angoras and then I got bells. Bells are just to keep in rhythm with the music. But the story with the bells is that when they captured the native, they didn't have any type of perimeter security, like a fence or a wall or anything like that. So the native people or the men would sneak out at night and escape. So the people decided to put bells on their feet so that when they try to escape, they could hear them. All right, so now we use it as to keep them in time with the music. All right, as member mentioned, the bustle, again, this is the eagle feathers, and the old the traditional dancers wear them. There are another group is the fancy dancer that wears two bustles, one where I got mine and then one in the back. But he's a lot faster and younger.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Thomas is going to perform a specific Men's traditional dance, I think. Sneak up?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do this because.
Do you want to do any dance? Do you want to do it? You want to
I'm
do
not
a straight
too rough
song?
about a weight. I used to weigh 240. But she don't want to cook.
All right, he wants to do a sneak up.
Okay.
I have to always check with him because we'll just keep it going.
Now, she mentioned the type of dance. The sneak up is one of those where I'm going to go down and hopefully I can get up. And I'm going to, can you hear me without this?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go down and I'm going to be looking for tracks and then I'm going to motion to the guy behind me. The guy found the tracks and all this other stuff, okay? And then, like I said, I'll hope I can get up.
We're just always afraid he's going to go down and we're going to have to drag him back up. But I always say, Thomas and Juanita have been dancing since they were little and since they were younger. We all have. And I truly believe that the reason why we can still dance is because we just never stop. And so with health problems and hip and shoulder and all the body part replacements, he's still able to dance, and that's the warrior spirit in him. He always keeps going. All right, so this is Thomas with the sneak up. So normally at our powwows, we're dancing maybe half a song here today, just for timing purposes. But at a powwow, he's right. We would usually go 2 or 3 songs at a time. So you do have to be in shape. Sometimes it is a lot. But were you guys able to see that warrior spirit? Were you able to see the story that he was telling with the hunt, and he was motioning people to come this way, and he was sweeping for tracks? So again, all of our dances tell a story. All of our dances have a meaning or a reason behind it. And so you guys have seen the traditional dances. I want to point out something. We've mentioned the feathers that we're wearing, most of them being eagle feathers. The eagle the Native American people are the only race of people that are able to obtain and have eagle feathers. We use them for our regalia and for ceremonies or just different things that we're able to use that for. And because they are special, eagles are special to us, we are the only group of people that are able to have eagle feathers. And we keep that in just high honor and high significance. For an eagle feather to be received or to be given to someone, it's usually done when you are representing something, or for instance, when I graduated from high school, I received an eagle feather. When I had my first child, I received an eagle feather. Whenever I achieved something, there was a gift of an eagle feather because that represents the highest honor that you can receive. We believe that eagles are the bird that flies the highest to the Creator, and so that when we pray, when we use eagle feathers, those prayers are carried up to our Creator, to God, through that eagle's wings, through the eagle. And so we honor the eagle in every way, and by wearing the feathers, we're doing that same thing. Okay, so the next dance, we are a little close on time, so we're gonna keep it moving. The next dance you guys are gonna see is more of a modern dance. So you guys have seen the traditional dancers. We're representing 3 dances here today. If you were to go to a powwow, you would see probably about 6 or 7 dances that are represented by women, 6 or 7 dances that are represented by men. And so the categories vary. They usually break up the dancers based upon their age group. And so a lot of the powwows are competition powwows as well. So we go out here to have fun, but we also go out here to compete against other dancers and compete like in regards to our footwork, in regards to our regalia, our stamina. And so all of these things get into play when you start seeing the powwows and multiple dancers that are going to the powwows. The dance that I'm going to perform today is the Women's Fancy Shawl Dance. It is a modern dance. This dance originated in the Plains area, so out west. And this dance started around the 1940s. The women would watch the men dancers at that time. There was a men's fancy dance, which was a lot faster than Tom dance, and it was a very fast, athletic, high energy dance. And the women would watch them, and they kind of wanted to dance a little fast and athletic as well. And so they started to dress like the men. They would go out there as men fancy dancers, and they would compete against the men, and they would beat the men. So of course, like the men would do, they would go find your own category. And so the women came up with the Women's Fancy Shawl Dance. Yeah. This dance uses bright colors. Again, it is more of a modern dance, and so you see the traditional aspects in the traditional dances, but then if you go to a powwows, you'll see the modern, colorful, high energy dances have more colors and sparkle, still using representation of our old customs and our traditions. So you'll see even in my regalia, I have shiny beadwork and shiny colors, but I have florals, and I have certain designs that represent either my tribe, myself, and resemble some of the old style designs and things that are particular to my tribe. And so it's a beautiful thing to see the traditional and then also the modern kind of come together in our regalia and also in our dancing. There is a story behind the Women's Fancy Shawl Dance. It tells of a young woman who lost her husband in battle. And like most people, she began to mourn the loss of her husband. And she closed herself off, and she isolated herself from her family and her community. And the Creator came to her one day in a dream, and he showed her the life of a caterpillar, and how that caterpillar inches its way through life, and kind of eating from a branch here, eating from a branch there, but doesn't really do much. It's not a very active creature. And he showed her that one day that caterpillar will wrap itself in a cocoon. And it'll isolate itself, and it'll keep itself hidden from the world for a very long time until it emerges as a creature that's completely different than what it was before. So instead of being a small, slow little worm, it's now this beautiful, bountiful butterfly that now has joy. And it bounces from here to there, and it carries a life, and it carries happiness in the way that it dances or the way that it flies. And he showed her that she too could come out of her cocoon and live life in a very joyful and happy way again. And through that dream, she was able to see that transition can happen, that we don't always have to isolate or close ourselves off. And nowadays you can correlate that to depression or things that we go through, and how the Creator speaks to us to be joyful and to be full of life again. And so this dance represents that butterfly, it represents that joy, it represents that new life. It is a bit of a fast dance, and so once I'm done dancing, Wadi is going to say a couple words and then we're going to close. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys want to come up and see some of the items that we have on the table or to share, you can come this way. I think there's going to be a storyteller that's coming in afterwards, so we'll kind of move this way if you guys want to talk to us or have questions or want to take pictures. We don't want to interrupt the storyteller. But before I dance, I just want to thank everyone for being here. We do have another performance at 7 o'clock, which will be a little bit longer because we'll have a little bit of extra time. So if you guys want to stick around and see more of our dancing or hear anything more, talk to us or ask us questions, please feel free to do that. Thank you to the staff at the zoo and for everyone having us out here. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and we hope you enjoyed this last dance.
I would like to say real quick that the feathers, the eagle feathers, it is illegal for anyone to get a feather, and especially you never buy an eagle feather. There's a $2,000 fine and even jail time. So my tribe, took it all the way to the Supreme Court for the right to carry our eagle feather. And like Amber said, they're sacred. We don't allow anyone to touch our feathers because it has our medicine. And if they should fall, if I should drop my fan or my plume, a warrior, my husband, are the only ones who can lift that feather up. So be very mindful when you see or encounter these eagle feathers.
We might go over the border too, we need our tribal guard.
Yes.
Yep, so they won't let you go. We
Yeah,
have to-
and we have to have a letter to carry
Yeah.
our feathers. All right. Isn't she graceful, beautiful? And I'd like to point out, we're supposed to be a humble people, but it doesn't hurt to toot your own horn every now and then, okay?
Yeah.
All of us, you'll see all of us at powwows, we're all powwow dancers. And I'm gonna brag on Amber a little bit. Not too long ago, she came back from Italy. And there are German in some towns, they're starting up Indian villages, and in Sweden. So as more people come to realize that we are alive and thriving, you will be surprised at how many times we are asked, "Oh, y'all are still alive. We thought y'all were all gone." Well, it wasn't for lack of trying, but you know, we are here, and we would love to share, because we are all one people. And like Amber said, we thrive in a circle. What happens when a part of that circle is broken? What happens when your ball loses its air? It doesn't work, does it? Huh? In a minute, baby. So anyway, we all are connected. Doesn't mean we have to like each other, but we should respect and learn from each other. Thank y'all for listening.
All right, thank you guys. I think there's going to be a storyteller that's coming up next. But like I said, if you guys have any questions or want to take any pictures, we're going to go over this way. They're going to exit out the back door.
If you like the content, go ahead on and like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. This was awesome. a lot of educational information out there for us. But again, give your boy a like and subscribe and a thumbs up. Later.